is up, everybody? Welcome to Peaches and Powerbombs. My name is Tina Miller, and this is Sarah Hirsch. And Sarah recently had some fun. She got to go to a live wrestling show, AEW, a week ago.
Yeah, it was last Friday. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before. Um,
Okay.
it was the Dynamite after Double or Nothing, and
Oh,
yeah, first wrestling show in 18 months. Tina, that is a long time.
I know, and I'm jealous.
It was something I just did on a whim. I was like, well, with the playoffs, NBA playoffs, kind of altering their schedule a little bit. I was
Uh
like, you
huh.
know what? I said, I'm going to go ahead and go on a Friday night while I'm off and get that out of the way. That way, if WWE decides to come our way, I could take my nephew and would be able to take time off from work and all that. So that was the idea behind
Mm-hmm.
that. So, but yeah, things were definitely a little different, but I think for the most part, I didn't realize that Dynamite was coming on at 10 o'clock that night. And I was
Woo!
like, seriously? So,
Did you take a
but
nap?
no, I did not. I did not. I left work, went, I went to Jacksonville. Of course, made a couple stops and had to put on my makeup and all that. And,
Mm-hmm.
and
Gotta look cute.
then, oh yeah. And of course, like the whole snafu of there was a graduation going on. There was no signs outside. So I'm like following everybody in the stadium because everything is closed off. And all of a sudden, I'm on the second level of the stadium. And I'm like, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Oh, gosh. Only me. You can peep my Instagram, our Instagram, Peaches and Power Bombs, for the video detailing all that. And
Oh, that's
oh
funny.
my
Did you?
gosh.
I just
Yeah,
want to know,
only
did
me.
you crash the party and did you eat cake?
No, no.
Oh
I,
man.
but the one part, but the one part of the whole ordeal is I ended up in the wrestler's parking lot. And I
Oh.
remember, yeah, I was close to the road. So I was like, well, I'm going to go in this parking lot a little bit. So, I didn't want people looking at me because I'm already looking like the biggest idiot in Jacksonville. And I see Sonny
I
Kiss
love it.
talking to somebody, and I'm like, oh,
I'm in the
bleep,
wrong
bleep, 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 bleep. And I grabbed my phone and I called one of my nephew wouldn't answer. My best friend wouldn't answer. So one of my good friends finally answered. I'm like, yes. I was like, please talk to me and let's pretend we're having a really serious business conversation because I'm like literally in the wrestler's parking lot. Just Tina, I was
Oops.
never, oh my gosh. Tina, I have never been so happy to see wrestling fans in my life after all that. But yes, check it out on Instagram, Peaches and Power Bombs, about that whole story.
That's funny. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing though, because I can totally see myself doing that, going to a place by myself. But kudos to you for going by yourself though.
Thank you.
It takes a lot of guts for a girl just to take herself somewhere. I've done
Oh
it a
yeah.
few times. And I'm married and Adam lets me go do whatever I want as long as I got my cell phone and I'm staying safe and
Mhm.
stuff. I've been to a few local indie stuff by myself. I've
Yeah.
never been to a big show like that.
Mhm.
But
I think with the
yeah.
pandemic, and then the opportunity just presented itself. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to waste any time. If I can go, let me just go ahead and go before they start touring and I can't see
Yeah.
them at all. And
Yeah.
But yeah, they did dark, and let me tell you, I miss going to a wrestling show so much. Jade Cargill came out. She was the first person that came out. I was about near in tears because I was like, oh my God, this is real. I'm at a show.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so so Dynamite was on at 10, but we made it.
Mm-hmm.
We made it.
Yeah.
There was some good stuff going on and everything, and of course the big thing was Andrade.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Like, okay, from your view watching at home, what was that like for you? Like,
Well, it was a little confusing on what was going on at first because Vicky Guerrero comes out of nowhere, and I
mm-hmm.
don't remember who was in the ring. Who was in the ring? She shooed them out. My mind
Oh,
just
it
went.
was Mark Henry and
Mark
I think
Henry, that's right, and
it was
Tony
Tony
Schiavone.
Schiavone. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And she was like, shoo shoo, get out. And they're like, okay,
Yeah,
what are
when
you
that
doing
happened,
here?
I was just like, okay, what's going on? But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I was really confused. I was like, why does Nyla Rose care about Mark Henry at first? Like, what is going on? And then she's, with her little screechy voice and stuff, and she
Mm-hmm.
introduces Andrade, and it was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on now.
So yeah, that was going on, and where I was at, I would be to her left. I was like towards
Okay.
all the way towards the end, and it was on her left. So from where I was seeing, where I could see straight into the tunnel. So
Right.
when she introduced him, you didn't know who it was at first because I was like, "Oh, who's coming out?" And Andrade's like sauntering out with his little doing this and all that, looking like the absolute boss that he is. Oh, and I saw him and I was like, oh my God. But yes, I could see him coming out of the tunnel and I'm like, I was probably like one of the first people that could see him
Yeah.
because where the crowd was, the tunnel's kind of catty corner. So like, yeah, I could see him doing all this, and I'm like, oh God, wait a minute, I know who that is.
That's awesome. It's so
Yes.
fun I love it when you're one of the first people to see something start to happen when you're at a show. Like
Yes.
I was at that little indie show that Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega
Mm-hmm.
showed up at, and everybody saw Chris Jericho come in. I saw
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Omega run in. He went right by me before anybody else saw it, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't think I'd ever get to see him. So
But yeah,
it's
Andrade
cool.
showing up absolutely was the best
Boss.
thing. And of course, I guess during the show they finally posted that he was all elite. So I saw it like after the show, and but yeah, I mean, I had a great time. I felt like the show was all over the place a little bit, but it was still a good show. I enjoyed it for what it was, and
Yeah.
just the fact that I was finally at a wrestling show after all that time, and
Mm-hmm.
my last wrestling show was at Dynamite, the homecoming
Me too.
episode, before COVID hit. So it was kind of like a full circle type of thing. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I had a great time, and you know, I hope you're able to see them whenever they come around. Maybe I can, but then again, if I
Yeah.
can't, it's all good. And so
Well, if
I'm just
they
excited that they're about to go back on the road. So
Oh yeah, everybody is about to go back on the road. I'm
yes.
excited about that.
Mhm.
NWA Power needs to Have they announced that they're opening back up yet, or are they still
I
closed
have
off?
not heard anything. That would be, I know they tape in Atlanta a lot, somewhere
Right,
around that
right. I'd love
area.
to go.
Oh my god, me too. Because I remember when I was doing Power for the Floor Seat, the recap, and I was like, man, I'd love to go there. Because they
Mm-hmm.
have a ton of good talent too.
Yeah, they do.
Hmm.
I like their setup, their old school presentation. I love it.
I do too. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit much, but I like it. It's nostalgia and it's kind of, it's different.
Different and
Hmm.
yeah, it's alternative. We need options. We don't need one company ruling the world.
No.
We don't need one company ruling the world. So
Speaking of
quit.
ruling the world, our we'll talk about it briefly right quick, but obviously the best thing going on right now on WWE side of things is our tribal chief.
Oh man. We acknowledge Roman Reigns on Peaches and
Yes.
Power Bombs. He
Mm-hmm.
is he is the head of
Yes.
the table. He is the tribal chief.
He is the tribal chief,
We bow down.
the alpha male. We answer to Roman Reigns. But
Yep.
what we're thinking about doing a podcast just focusing on this storyline with Roman Reigns and the Usos, and obviously it's the best thing going on right now. And it I just want to say this right quick, but that feeling like back in the 90s when you were watching Raw or whatever, and it was like a
Mm-hmm.
to be continued feel to it. I feel
Yeah.
like that with Roman in
Like you
them. It's
have
I want
yeah.
more. I'm like,
You have to see
what's
what's
gonna happen
happening.
next? Yes. Like that's how you get people to tune in. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Come on now. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
I have not felt like that in so long when it comes to a wrestling storyline.
No.
So, but yeah, we're
No.
definitely thinking about doing a podcast dedicated to our
We might
tribal
have
chief.
to have Issa on for that.
Okay.
She acknowledges the tribal chief.
I
So
mean, do you blame her?
no, no, not at all. Okay, we'll send Issa a DM and invite her to our Roman Reigns acknowledgement party.
Yes. Yes, we'll have to wear our Roman shirts, Roman gear.
I don't have one, but I'll get one. I'll
Well, you can
get
make it work.
one.
You could. Well, you say you wear mostly black. You can just kind of work with it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I still need a Roman shirt though, just to make people mad and just be fun.
Oh yeah, I need to update the mine too. Trust me.
Yeah, one of them head of the table ones, or
Mhm.
so last night was NXT in your house takeover, and
Mhm.
it was a really good show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I
Mhm.
just was able to forget about everything going on and just it was a sleeper because looking at the card you're like whatever,
Yeah.
okay, but it was actually a lot of fun and I enjoyed every single match on the card. It was only 5 matches and it was only 2.5 hours. Perfect
Yeah.
timing. I think less is more. I think we're finding
That
that
was
out, that less is
exactly
more.
what I was about to say, and I think NXT does so well in that approach because
Right.
you know you got 5 matches. That's basically 5 feuds y'all they're concentrating on, and
Mm-hmm.
they've had time to build or whatever, and
Yeah.
yeah, they always deliver on that part.
Yep. So Sarah said that she hasn't had a chance to watch it all yet. So we're just going to briefly talk about the results and, I'll throw in a few comments about how good the match was or what I thought about
Mhm.
this or that. And we'll move on and talk about some of rumors going on and all that kind of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that will lead into our big
Mm-hmm.
topic we want to talk about.
Yep. Yep. So the first match was the 6-man tag match with MSK and Bronson Reed tagging versus Legado del Fantasma.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a winner take all match for the North American Championship and the tag championships. Whoever won got all the gold.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
it was a good opener. It was a lot of fun. Bronson Reed got in a lot of impressive offense in. He did a lot of, bouncing around and stuff that you don't would think that a big guy could do. Well, a lot of the bigger guys are doing it now, but
Mm-hmm.
traditionally you wouldn't think that they could do that. And it was a lot of fun. And the winner, MSK and Bronson Reed, retained.
Okay.
Good match. And
Santos Escobar is one of my favorites,
I
and
love
he's
him.
so pretty. Like, he's so
He is
pretty.
pretty.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
great, but he's pretty too.
Yeah, he's really good at
Mm-hmm.
that weasel bad guy stuff. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're just like, mm.
Yep. The
I
other two are
definitely think
good
he has
too,
a
but
bright
he's
future.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think he's one of the ones that might actually do well on the main roster.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
I
Cause
mean,
you know that NXT curse is just.
yeah.
I mean, it shows no signs of slowing down.
No. I'm gonna pray that he's the exception to the rule. They don't
I
ruin
hope
him.
so. I know, gosh. Please don't.
No. Stop ruining people. We like them just the way they are.
That's right.
We don't need your dirty little fingerprints and
Right.
your really bad
If it's
overscripted
not
promos all over it.
if it's not broke, don't if it ain't broken, don't fix it. There.
Yep. Yep. So, good opener, good match. You'll enjoy it, Sarah, when you finally get to watch
Alright.
it. The next thing on our list, the second match of the night, was the ladder match for the $1 Million Man Legacy, the $1 Million title. Ted DiBiase was ringside for this, so that was cool. Cameron Grimes versus LA Knight, and LA Knight got the win, and he was awarded the legacy of the $1 Million Man. It was a good match, and I love Cameron Grimes. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
He's a
so
little obnoxious, but that's what makes him the character he is.
that's what makes it. Because at first I was like, I don't know, I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
And then it just grew on me. It's kind of like the RK Bro stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I hated Matt Riddle with a passion, and I still
Yeah,
kind of
me too.
do.
And
But I
now
love him with Randy Orton.
and now we're just like, I can't wait to see what they do.
I know. It's funny.
I think it makes sense for LA Knight to have the $1 million belt. So I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do now with that, as far as that goes. I mean, honestly, that's a pretty good rub. I mean, Ted DiBiase and I mean, $1 million belt. I mean, you remember when Stone Cold had it before he blew up. So I mean, not saying that could happen with LA Knight, but I think little things like that I think is a great deal, because it just takes you back, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that, and you remember the people that he that they had in the past and stuff, and so it's kind of like a nod to the past, and you kind of have the
Yep.
new with it too. And I thought that was a great idea when I first initially heard about it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
and it's
man,
different.
right. I would have never thought I'd see the $1 million belt again.
No.
Excuse me.
Um, I thought it was I was really expecting Cameron Grimes to win because everybody wanted Cameron Grimes to win.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it, I think it makes a lot of sense because you could still maybe have Cameron Grimes chase after LA Knight,
Mm-hmm.
and he could still have a lot of fun there.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think that LA Knight is a little misplaced, not really with the $1 million legacy, but in NXT altogether. I think he's a little too big for the brand. I don't know. He just screams really, I don't know, big things to me. And
Maybe
it's kind of like, well, I'm going to bring this up and we're going to talk about him in a few minutes. So it's kind of like Samoa Joe in NXT. I was like, why is he in NXT? And that's not like, saying NXT is superior or anything, but that's just usually where they build up people that they're training and, getting people used to being on a big stage and stuff like that. And I was like, they should have treated him like AJ Styles. But,
right. Yeah, I could see that. And, perhaps the whole thing with the $1 million belt is that stepping stone for him to go on the main roster. Perhaps.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like we talked about before with Escobar and other people, there's an NXT curse, so we never know what's going to happen. I think maybe that's why AJ Styles did so well, is because he didn't get that NXT curse. He didn't even get the TNA curse.
I know. Well, he's AJ Styles.
He's the best.
That's right. Yes.
What's this? Sorry.
If I if I could reach for my picture right now, I would.
I'm gonna have to do a video explaining what that is about.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's too funny. All right, moving on. I thought that was the match of the night, by the way.
Oh, really?
Match.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Next
so it was like one of the surprise ones.
I was surprised on the winner of it.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be awesome, and it was the match that I was looking forward to the most. So
I got you. Okay.
It just,
excuse me,
solidified that. So, Xia Li with the scary Mei Ying on her throne in the background with oh golly, I can never remember the guy's name.
I can't remember his name either. Don't feel bad, but I know who you're talking about.
If you're watching this, Mr. I'm sorry. You probably not, but it's okay. Xia Li versus Mercedes Martinez. Xia Li gets the win. The guy goes for I'm sorry, this sounds so unprofessional. He goes for a chair and throws it in the ring, but Martinez actually counters and starts hitting Xia Li with it, starts hitting him with it, and then focuses her attention on Mei Ying on the
throne
on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
And she was going to attack her with the chair, saying, "I'm not scared of you, I'm going to get you," all that kind of stuff. And Mei Ying grabs her by the throat and chokes her out. And then I think the other two come up behind Martinez afterwards and lays her out completely. And that's how that ended. So that storyline's not going anywhere.
No, and I think Xia Li is probably going to be a contender here for the women's championship in the next several months, if not earlier.
I
Definitely
think
with
she
that
should be.
concentration. Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe wait a little bit, just a little bit, for Raquel to establish her dominance just a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more.
Oh
And
yeah.
then, speaking of which, that's what we're moving on to next. She actually retains her title, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And yeah, and then maybe, I don't know. They're both heels right now, so one of them would. I don't see it being Xia Li turning face with the
No.
scary witch girl in the back. So,
No.
but it was fun. It was interesting. It was short. It wasn't a long match, but it was good, and
Okay.
it was a good story, and they continued that, and I'm interested to see what else happens. So,
Okay.
yep. Next, another women's match. Raquel Gonzalez with Dakota Kai in her corner versus Ember Moon. A lot of back and forth stuff. Dakota Kai's mannerisms when she was doing her little sneaky stuff, because sometimes it's overdone, but they actually were really smart, just doing it bit by bit with her just
Mm-hmm.
interfering just a little bit. It wasn't overdone like it's normally. So, and her facial expressions, like, oh, I didn't do that, was a cool touch. And then the last thing she did was put Raquel's foot on the rope after Ember Moon hits the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, Shotzi Blackheart comes out
Mm-hmm.
and comes after her, and like the terror on her face. Dakota
Oh
Kai,
wow.
man, she's got them facial expressions down pat.
I
And
know
then
Dakota Kai is one of those that you want to see her get her tail handed to her, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Just like she asked for it.
I'm interested to see if they keep those two together, or if they're going to do a jealousy storyline at some point, or what's going to happen.
Yeah, that could happen, and that might be the segue for Xia Li
Yeah,
to pop in. You never know.
never know. But yeah, Ember Moon gets distracted. Raquel Gonzalez dominates with her power bomb and wins 1, 2, 3, just like that. Good match. All right, I really like Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, she definitely grew on me too. When she was in the Mae Young Classic, I definitely was not impressed with her, but you could tell she put in the work, and she's getting better and
Mm-hmm.
better. So I'm happy
Yep.
for her.
Yep.
And I'm also happy Ember Moon's in NXT because they were doing nothing with her on the main roster.
No. 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 Ember Moon looked really good in this match too. So this is probably the best match she's had since she's came back.
Nice.
And Raquel looks
Definitely.
like she can eat me for breakfast.
Oh Lord.
All right, main event time. And we'll talk about some rumors, backstage newsies.
Newsies.
Newsies. The Fatal 5-Way match with Karrion Kross versus Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly versus, yeah, good gracious, versus Pete Dunne
Mm-hmm. Was Balor in
versus
there?
Johnny Gargano.
Oh
Mm-mm.
no. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
Karrion
that's four,
Kross.
and then he was five.
Yeah, Karrion Kross.
Okay. Okay.
This was all over the place. I could not keep up with it. It was
Oh
good and it
wow.
was entertaining to watch, but me trying to tell you what all that happened. Karrion Kross wins.
Oh yeah. He's unstoppable at this point.
Yep. Yep. I can't
I
wait to
I
see his
wonder,
entrance.
huh?
I can't wait to see his entrance in front of in a in an arena.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really curious as to see who would stop carrying Cross. I mean, he's a monster.
Hmm. I don't know.
And I want to be Scarlet
I'm
when I
thinking.
grow up.
I think he's going to win, but I think this is what they're going to do, and I could be wrong, but this is the way it looks because like nothing from Finn Balor since the last takeover, right? Nothing.
Hmm.
And the next one is, SummerSlam weekend. I'm thinking that, Finn Balor is going to come out with that demon character.
The demon. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I miss the demon.
Me too. And I think
That
it'd
would
be
be
really
bomb if
cool.
he brought that back for it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it'd be really cool because he like his normal character, he's called the Prince, right? And
Yeah.
then like
Hmm.
his demon character is the Demon King. Well, Karrion
Yes.
Cross beat the Prince. Now it's time for him to beat the King.
Woo!
So,
I like that. Yes.
yeah,
Yes,
we'll
honey.
see.
Yes.
I'm all
That makes
for
me
it.
so
Let's
excited.
do it. Let's do
Yes.
it. I don't see any other option that would, you know, be like, let's see this.
That would be full circle for Balor too, because
Mm-hmm.
he's one of those. I'm so glad he went back to NXT and is getting used
Yep.
correctly. And
Yep.
I think I said it before, but I think too, he was at the right place, or yeah, right place, wrong time, perhaps, or because he got injured when he won the Universal Championship, and it just kind of
Yep.
went downhill from there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I feel
I
like
don't think
I feel like go ahead.
I don't think he was stomped on as bad as some of the others,
Right.
but yeah, it could have gone better for him.
I
And
think
you're gonna roll
I,
your eyes at this. His match with Brock Lesnar is probably one of my favorites. He had a good match with Brock Lesnar. You're like, ugh. But
yeah.
he did. He had a good match with Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar can have good matches.
I know he can. He just doesn't have them often. But I definitely think that would be a good full circle moment in Balor's redemption. It's like a redemption thing for him. So that would be a
Yeah.
really good full circle moment. That would be a good moment, and that would be something if he won the title back from Karrion Cross. That yeah, I could see that.
I could see them doing it, but I really don't think it's necessary. But I really think Karrion Cross should win. But then, of course, who's going to stop him? But
Exactly.
I don't know. We'll see.
I bet them. I'm pretty sure that match was really good because everybody in that match is like fantastic
Mm-hmm.
in their
Yeah, it
own
was it
right.
was it was very entertaining. It was a lot of fun. There's just so much action. I just like, how in the world do I like go down this list?
I heard Todd Pettengill was back for us, so I can't wait to see those.
Oh man, those were so funny. That dude was hilarious. I liked
Oh man.
his little bit for wweshop.com with Hit Row. That was funny.
Oh wow.
And he's like trying to there was also ones where he was trying to like show backstage like promo tape, but he
Mhm.
has like a VCR and an old TV, and she's like just tell him from the truck you want it played. It's digital, and he goes the DVD, and she's like no.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm
He
so
was
glad they
funny.
brought him back for that because when you think of In Your House, Todd Pettengill's like one of the first people you think of because
Yeah.
he was like the backstage interviewer and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
It was a
god.
lot of fun.
I bet.
He he was funny. He kept me entertained.
Todd Pettengill for the WWE Hall of Fame 2022. I said it here first at Peaches and Power
We
Bombs.
should. They should do it. Yes. I agree. And then following that match, the big head scratcher on what's happening, they tracked down William Regal.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I didn't say was all throughout the show, you see different people fighting backstage and security having to be called in and just utter chaos through the whole show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like looking exhausted. He's even crying. And he goes, in all the 7 years that I've been GM of NXT, I've never seen it so chaotic. And I'm paraphrasing here. Mm-hmm. He goes, I think it's time for a change. And so that makes, especially today, because this is the Monday after In Your House at our recording, right before Monday Night Raw. So we don't know what's going on there.
It's currently 6:16 p.m. Just FYI.
Okay. We still got 2 hours before Monday Night Raw, and it's 24 hours after NXT.
Mm-hmm.
This had people speculating because we had some breaking news that someone that they just released might have been re-signed, and he might be having a role in NXT. And we just talked about this guy, and I spelled his name wrong.
Terrible.
Yeah,
you're fired.
Yep. So
yeah, that is definitely the big news today. I really hope that's true, and they right that wrong, because Samoa Joe was definitely a surprise release back after WrestleMania, and it kind of reminds me of the talks that they're backstage that they were having with Aleister Black. There was talk about, oh, they shouldn't have released him, need to bring him back right now, as soon as possible. So that could, hopefully that would be the case down the road for him. But yeah, Samoa Joe being like in a commissioner type of role, that would be very interesting. Especially because he's proved, like, on commentary, he's so eloquent with his words, the way he uses his words. I think that would be an interesting what's the word I'm looking for? Scenario. Definitely adds a different layer in terms of how NXT is ran on screen.
And I think it would shake things up a little bit too. And this is not like against William Regal, because I love him. I think he's wonderful. But I think NXT needs there needs to be something different going on. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, me too. And
I don't want William Regal to be just shoved to the side, though, because I like him. So
yeah, and we were talking earlier too, like, maybe if Samoa Joe is in that role, he can, like, be at the forefront for like a couple weeks or whatever, and then maybe then you see him and William Regal putting ideas together. You might see some sort of tension, disagreement, or something. So I definitely think if this is the case, which that is the rumor right now, I definitely think is a good idea. They shouldn't even release Samoa Joe in the first place.
No, that dude stood out in the rain for them, and then, like, 2 days later, they're releasing him. I'm like, really?
Sorry. Oh God, I can't stand that.
Just so they can hire somebody else to take his spot on the commentary for Raw, which I was like, why did you release him and then hire someone else to take his place?
Yeah, and the
That
guy that they had on Raw, you could tell
quit.
he was not, huh?
He quit, I think.
Oh, well, you could tell he didn't. He was out of his element, you know.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe fit right in. He meshed
Well,
very
Samoa Joe
well.
knows wrestling, so
That
it
too,
wasn't like
yeah,
a culture shock.
yeah. And for that poor guy, it was a culture shock, and
Yeah.
you could really tell, like, dude, this is not working. You know, I know
Mm-hmm.
commentary could be a hard thing, especially
Mm-hmm.
when you work with multiple people. So I,
Right.
I'm pretty sure the odds were stacked against that guy, but
Right. I mean, because they're not just doing the play by play like in sports,
right,
they're also telling the story. That
exactly.
is their job, is to tell the story.
Mhm.
And they have to go around and be like, hey, what do you want me to bring light to? What do you want me to shed light on during your match? What do you, what is
Mhm.
your angle and all this other kind of stuff? So they got to know all that, and they got to know how it all works. And then you also have Vince McMahon screaming in your ear for 3 hours
Oh
on top of all
jeez.
that. So,
Oh, that wouldn't be fun at all.
oh Lord, no.
I said no.
Kudos to them. Kudos to
Right.
them who can like be constantly talking, because they're like they're talking to the audience, right? And they're
Uh
saying
huh.
this is what's happening, and they're telling their story. But they're also conversing with one another and having to have a conversation with each other. And that and then be him screaming in their ear saying, do the, talk about this, say this, don't say that, blah blah blah. I
If it
couldn't
were
do
me,
that.
I would be doing this number right quick. I would be fired. You're
Who was
fired.
it? Was it Jerry Lawler? Was it Paul Heyman? I can't remember. There was someone who was doing commentary in the '90s one time that just turned Vince McMahon off, like, and the other person's next to him going, "Can you do that?" And he's like, "Well, I just did."
Wow, I forgot all about that.
It might have been Paul Heyman.
Can you
I'm not
imagine,
sure
like,
though.
when he went backstage? Oh man.
Oh,
Oh
I can see Paul Heyman doing something like that more than Jerry Lawler. So
yeah. You and me
Paul
both.
Heyman didn't last that long on commentary. So
Mm-mm.
it's funny. All right. So
Yeah,
there's other
and
people besides. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was gonna say, you know, speaking of releases, since the last time we done a
Yep.
recording,
That's
um,
what we were going to talk about next.
yeah, and yeah, they were that 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 bunch of releases was pretty um eye opening.
Mm-hmm.
The what there were 6 people released, and
Right.
it went from NXT
Mm-hmm.
to the high card, and
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Tina, but definitely for me the biggest surprise for me was Braun Strowman. I
Yep.
thought he was a WWE lifer.
Yep. Me too.
um yeah, Lana wasn't all that surprising. It was, but it wasn't. Ruby
Yeah.
Riot, I couldn't believe that. Let's see, Aleister Black was among the list too. um
Mm-hmm.
and and I think that blew people's mind too, because they just established a feud between him and Big E, and then y'all
Right.
let him go. So I'm hoping, like, if Samoa Joe comes back in that role on NXT, I'm hoping the same can be said for Aleister Black, because
There's some
there's talk.
rumors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but either way, Aleister Black is an amazing talent, and
Yeah.
he was definitely part of that NXT curse.
Yes. Yes, he was.
How did you take those releases? I mean, I know you're not sad or anything, I wouldn't think, but was there somebody you were more surprised by, or?
Well, like everybody else, Braun Strowman, because he had the Universal title during the pandemic, and he was
Mm-hmm.
there when Roman couldn't be there because Roman has he had cancer, and his immune system's probably not the best, so he needed to stay away for his own health and
His wife
safety.
gave birth to twins too around that time.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
And so he couldn't be there, and I'm definitely not dogging him for deciding to stay home. Absolutely not.
No,
I was
absolutely.
actually very happy he decided to stay home.
He did the right thing, because it was uncertain
Sure
times, and
he sure
you
did.
didn't know how bad this was going to be, and
No.
And Strowman has definitely grown leaps and bounds. The main thing I think was his contract, but my thing is too, is that okay, you had him signed to like $1 million a year, if I think that's what it was,
That's on you, boo.
All of a sudden, you got him wrestling or against Shane McMahon in a no nonsense feud at WrestleMania. So I feel like Strowman was like the victim of just terrible booking at that point, because it's like,
he was.
if I'm paying somebody $1 million a year, they're going to headline some shows. They're going to be on top of the card. I definitely felt like he was the victim of booking politics, bad booking.
Yeah.
That just wasn't right, because I was just like, wow. I mean,
yeah.
If you weren't committed to keeping him there, why would you even do it in the first place? That's my thing.
I don't know. They're crazy. Yeah. I mean, because I had just, when he was released, because I don't really look into the nitpicky who's getting paid what stuff normally.
Right.
But then when all of that stuff was going out, that he had $1 million a year contract, and I was like, that's what he was doing? Was this, I'm not stupid, but I'm going to do stupid stuff.
I actually kind of half joked on my Facebook post. I was like, yeah, so I guess we're seeing Brock Lesnar and Goldberg returning, and then all of a sudden, your favorite person in the world went back on the active roster page, and I'm like,
maybe.
Oh,
maybe.
God. Stop. I don't care. No.
I care. Yes. Yes. I want to see it.
Stay far, far away. Stay far deep in the woods. Don't ever come out.
Bring him back. Come back.
No,
Save me. No. Save me, Brock. Save me. I need to see this. I need to come back.
Oh, God. No.
Yeah, they're saying that it'll be Roman versus John Cena over there for the Universal title on SmackDown.
That's I'm all for thing too. Yeah.
And then the rumor is Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, and I'm just like, yes.
I'm actually interested in seeing how that plays out now that Bobby Lashley's like, they finally got him right.
Now that doesn't mean
I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Now that doesn't mean that I necessarily want Bobby Lashley to lose. I just want Brock to be back. That's all I care about.
Moving on.
You might hear it if Issa comes on here. Maybe not. It's all about Roman Reigns that day. So.
Oh yeah. Brock who?
For now. For now. But just know that I'm going to celebrate if he shows back up. So.
Be wallowing in the corner going, oh my God. Why?
And I'll be dancing around.
Just don't do like he did with Eddie, like when he was feuding with Eddie Guerrero and he had the sombrero.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The Raunchy Man, that was so funny. See, he's entertaining.
I love Eddie.
He's hilarious. Brock is entertaining too, and he's hilarious when he wants to be. The Money in the Bank dance, the river dance.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It was great. It was great.
A hot mess.
That was like
Speaking of hot messes.
That was 2 years ago, right? That was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I still periodically have to find it on YouTube and laugh at it.
Oh, gosh.
All right, we'll get off my Brock rant.
Yes, hot mess. But speaking of hot messes, I'm pretty sure that 95% of the WWE universe is looking forward to see what kind of train wreck we got on Raw tonight. And I'm talking about the return of Eva Marie.
Yay!
Yep, she's coming on tonight. I'm not gonna stick around to watch it because I gotta go to bed. But the main question is she coming alone? There's rumors that she might have assembled a team. So I'm not really sure what the idea is for her, but apparently we're gonna know tonight, or in my case, in the morning.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
I haven't decided yet. I'm intrigued, and I'm not, and I also don't want to. Because honestly, lately, I've only been watching like the Hulu version of Monday Night Raw because I just cannot watch the 3 hours because it's so horrible. And the only thing I'm interested in right now, besides seeing if that is a train wreck or if it actually works or not, is RK Bro.
Yes.
Because it's so odd and so crazy that it just works. Bro.
Yeah, that is definitely a highlight for me. And I didn't like Matt Riddle very much, but I'm definitely liking him in this story.
I don't know. Randy Orton just adds that magic touch that because it's like two opposite things coming together and it just works. And, you know, Randy has changed so much in the past year.
I think Randy can be very versatile. It's just not utilized often.
Yeah. Well, see, with Randy, I've always thought that he was a great talent and like he's one of the best, smoothest wrestlers I've ever seen. But I don't think his like speaking, his promo work, his communicating has always been the best. But that's he's really, you can tell he's really worked hard on that in the past year and a half. And he's up here now. So yeah, Randy Orton's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. RK Bro is the highlight of Raw.
Oh yeah. It's the only thing worth watching right now. I'm done with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre right now. That needs
and
to
that's
be
no
over.
and that's no disrespect to them, because
No.
you know, because both of them are, you know, absolutely fantastic right now. But my thing is, what is next for Bobby Lashley, and what is next for Drew McIntyre? I'm not really
I don't
sure.
know about what's next for Drew McIntyre, but I have a feeling I know who's next for Bobby Lashley.
Oh Jesus, yes. Oh God, we just talked about that. Oh God. Yeah, I'm kind of in. Yeah, like, what would be next for Drew after the fact?
I don't know.
I'm just not sure.
I don't know either. Because technically, he could be still thrown in the middle of it too, because Brock's would have beef with him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like almost have themselves booked into a corner. Hey, let's throw Brock Lesnar in because we know we'll make some money and everybody loves him, and just throw him in
Not
there. And,
everybody
hey,
loves
we got
him.
it fixed.
Not everybody loves him. Everybody wants to see him. There's a difference.
Ugh.
All right, I think that's about wraps it up for this episode. Anything else, Sarah? You got anything going on?
I don't have anything going on, but before we leave, I want to give a special shout out to Stranglehold Championship Wrestling, promoter Eric Nelson. That's my guy. He sent us a whole bunch of followers on Facebook. We appreciate you, and we appreciate
Awesome.
all of our followers that have,
yes, we do,
liked the page. Continue to follow the page for more content, all that good stuff. You know, all the people that are on the Facebook page, like our Instagram, our Twitter, and definitely YouTube, Podbean as well. And I know we need to work on that. We just hadn't figured it out yet. So, but yeah, we getting there. We getting there slowly but surely.
And we have some interesting guests coming on. I won't say who yet, because we're still ironing out all the details. But we do have at least 2 guests in mind, and we're talking to those people for the end of July, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all just keep tuning in. We're slowly but surely, you know, working on this, bringing y'all great content, talking to awesome people in the wrestling world, whether they be writers, wrestlers themselves, or just people, you know, affiliated with it in some way. And we appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us, 2 girls, talk about Brock. I'm kidding. Talk about wrestling. And so we'll see y'all later. And y'all keep it real. See you later. Bye.